usually is that we have external events and then you'll take turns designing the post for each event. So let's say one of the events, the design was really bad, and you see it prior to posting it. How would you go about the situation?
I would, if it's not like too late, then definitely talk to them, because I think having like 6 different universities collaborate all the time, it's kind of like not just like your university's committee's shared passion, but also like together with the other 6 universities. So like definitely like talk to the other general secretary and like talk about like, oh, these are some ideas I was thinking, like particularly for this maybe like event, and also maybe like recommend some tools that like you might be using that like find it useful. There's lots of like templates and tools that are friendly for like beginners as well, like Canva. You don't have to be an expert to be like making really nice posts, I think. So
yeah, I definitely agree to what Mary just said, just to communicate with people if you have time. But if not, like, I think personally what I would do is to create another post, and then I just send out like, hey, these are some changes I've made, or this is another example, because even communication, maybe sometimes after communicating you might have some debates, and overall it would kind of delay the whole process. So instead of just like communicating, I will also propose another backup just in case they want to use that instead, so it's just more time efficient.
Okay, let's say hypothetically we have an event. There's one type of ticket, it's a standard ticket, but if you're an ABACUS member, it's cheaper by like £5. On the Google form, normally you could ask like, are you an ABACUS member? And as a committee, we have the tools to check if that's true. We can check our membership list. But let's say you forget to put that on the form. So a bunch of people have signed up and you don't know who's a member and who's not a member. So you don't know if they're telling, so you don't know basically whether people are just, so you don't know whether who gets the cheaper tickets and who gets the more expensive tickets. What do you do?
I think for me, I think I could use the Excel skills to like kind of redistribute, and I think there is tools to help to like redistribute it, so I would know. But if I couldn't figure out how to use it, well, which it shouldn't be a problem, well, I would suggest to release the tickets again, which will take more effort, but I think overall like that's like more fair, because like you don't want people to be like cheating the system, be like, hey, I'm a member, but they are actually not. Yeah.
I have a question, like to clarify. You were saying that there is like a way to find who is a member and who is not, and then you mentioned that like, what if they don't list that they are a member, and then you don't know? I was a bit confused about like, if there is a tool to begin with.
So it's basically, we don't have a tool per se, but we have we have a list from the student union that they provide us who has paid for the membership. But for us, how we're running it now, it's just we ask them if they're a member or not, and then we check it, and then a cross check basically. So that's why if you don't have the member like thing, it'll be hard to check, I guess.
Yeah, so if on the form you forgot to put in the option to ask whether people are a member or not. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, like, I think it might be more efficient to perhaps like resend another form, but also at the same time, that is another way. But if you do have like the member list, then comparing those is like the way to go, in my opinion, because you could resend the form, but that would mean that like, I feel like that can cause confusion regards to like the marketing of that event and also the logistics in general. So we should just like be careful enough for that to happen.
Since you generally host the social media as GenSec, let's say you post the pictures from a club, like from a night out, and a member complains that they don't like how they look in the post. What do you do?
I think just like it was acknowledged, like the consent, I guess. Like first of all, like being photographed, like photographed, I guess like you need consent about that. But also like if someone comes up with that, then like it kind of depends on the reason maybe as well, like what's appropriate and not.
Like, I feel like if you just don't think you look good in that picture, it's just kind of like, well, it is what it is, and then like it's being posted online, and you can't just like
be prettier
and be like, hey, I don't like this picture. Like that's not how it works. That's not how like in the future if you're like in a society, like that's not how it works. It doesn't always go.
Like if you're like working in a company and your company posts a picture of you and you're like, oh, like my hairline looks bad or something. Like you can't really like go up to their marketing team and be like, by the way, like that Instagram post, you know. So
it hasn't portrayed my beauty.
It's
like,
yeah.
It's not how it works.
Sorry, can I just clarify with the committee? Like, is there a place where you like they give consent for having your photos taken? Like, when you sign up for ABACUS, is there like a thing where you say, oh,
No.
I consent to
I think
having my
So
right now
basically
it's
you
not
just-
clear. Right now it's whether you're actually gonna be in the picture or not. Like
I
in
think
the event if they like.
in the event, obviously there's a professional photographer, right? And you know they take pictures. If you know, usually you want to take pictures with your friends, then you'll be in the picture. If you don't want to be in the picture, then just walk away. That's like more the thing that's happening right now. But.
Yeah, he's like.
Last question. Sometimes when we have incidents or we have to remind our members society-wide, then we have to put out statements on our social media. For example, when there was a case of sexual harassment on the boat party, we put out a social media post reminding people about health and safety rules and things like that. Do you think that's the job of the GenSec, or do you think that's the president's job to write these statements?
Like just write and I feel like
Would you have clarity?
I think it might, because sexual like assault or like harassment is quite a serious matter. Either a statement from the president or the committee themselves. I feel like maybe not just the general secretary would be better. I think the victim would feel better that way too. It's pretty. I find it a very serious matter. So, in general, a statement and also like some prevention plans or any follow-up is like very necessary.
Okay. Yeah. That's a
I think
wrap.
that's